to the Saturday Night Swirl with your host, Roadrunner89. Hope you enjoy. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's having a good Saturday night. Welcome to Saturday Night Swirl with your host, Roadrunner89. Okay. I'm having a real good day today. I'm ecstatic. You know how you have a good day and just everything goes right? And you can't believe it. It's like you kind of feel guilty, like something bad has got to happen to even it out, right? I know that sounds crazy, but that's the day I'm having. Just had a good day at work. I worked a little bit late. That's why I moved the time back, because I did have to work some overtime, but I was having such a good day I didn't care. But, everything's amazing today. I wish every day was like today, but you have your good days and bad days. I just want to welcome everybody here tonight. Buy the book. Good to see you, young lady. April May, Cece, Chris. Good to see you, brother. Good to have you guys here tonight. And I want to thank everybody that came in last night to my show that disappeared. But hey, had a good time. Tonight, okay, I want to talk about love power. And I'm going to talk about the black wife effect and how it makes us better men, okay? We'll hear black women that open up their options, that swirl to investment, that divest, and, they level up. And really, in my opinion, okay, I think us white men and non-black men, I think we're the ones really leveling up. I'm going to be honest. Look, and there's people out there that say, and it's crazy because some of my enemies, and I'm not going to say enemies because, you want to destroy an enemy, right? I'm going to say my rivals, because there's nobody here on YouTube that I want to harm or wish any bad thing on. So I'll just say rival. When you're in a combat situation, that's an enemy. Okay, a lot different. a rival is just somebody that you can't stand, that can't stand you, and it's back and forth. Okay. Um. Anyway, but some of my rivals, since the time I've been doing YouTube, have shamed me. It's kind of weird. Tried to shame me for me expressing my love for black women, giving black women compliments. Okay? Um, and it seems kind of weird to me. It's like they don't want me to show love to black women. Okay? Like it's some kind of weakness. Like you just got to be a hardcore dude and put her in her place, I guess. That's what they're thinking. Um, but black women have been a blessing to me. Okay? And there's a lot of my rivals that say, well, you got a savior complex. Okay? And you can't save these black women. You can't save them. They're toxic. They're just. And truth be told, it's not me saving the black woman. The black woman has saved me. Okay? Black women in my life have made me better. They have brought out the best in me. And I had to do the work. They didn't just come and take care of me. But the thing what black women do is black women are more engaged than any other group of women. And hey, that's my opinion. You don't like it, so what? I'm going to speak how I feel. And the truth, okay? Black women will bring out the best in you. Make you feel like there's nothing you can't accomplish. Okay? That's my experience. Okay? And I've seen black women with their love, with their support, with their engagement. And I say black women are the most engaged. You get a black woman that loves you, she's engaged in you. Okay? It's like you have a goal and it becomes her goal. And if you look at the title, the love power, that's powerful. But it's the black wife effect too. Okay? And I'm going to go in to the black wife effect. I'm going to revisit this because it's very important. A lot of people think, oh, the black wife effect is just showing a white dude that gets a haircut and dresses better, and it's deeper than that. Okay? Some people say it's the white man stealing the black man's swag. Okay? That ain't it either. Okay? But here's the thing. Black women are engaged. Black women, you find a black woman that loves you, she's going to work on you. She's going to make you look better, okay? She's going to make you better. She's going to pour that love into you, encourage you, make you feel like, you can accomplish anything. My wife has made me feel like, man, there's nothing I can't do. And it's not ego talking. It's not me thinking I'm better than anybody else. It's not that. It's just that she believes in me, has faith in me so much that it energizes me. It makes me stronger in a sense. And it's like she's got faith in me and I want to, I don't want to let her down and I want to do better so I can give her more. So I can make our life better. Right? That's what it is. And it's not like I feel pressure to do that. I want to do that. Okay? Like I said, I'm not trying to save the black woman. I'm just showing love and respect to black women. That's all I'm doing. And I want black women to be happy and have the best option out there. Okay? But truth be told, the black woman saved me. The black woman put me on a path from being on a path to nowhere fast to a path of increased success. Okay? And there's nothing I've done that any man with discipline can't do. Okay? But my wife has built my confidence and has made me better than I ever thought I would be. Okay? So technically, the black woman saved me. I didn't save the black woman. Okay? But when my wife has shown me love and support and had my back, it's made me better. And thus, she does better. And it's a love that's reciprocated. And that's why a lot of times black women and white men, we do better in marriage. Okay? Because the love's going back and forth. You know, and I'm going to get into that because we appreciate each other. We don't take each other for granted generally because we don't expect to be loved by each other. Hey, let's be honest. A lot of white men don't think they have a chance with black women. Okay? There are black women that have been told white men don't want you. They're only going to lust after you. Okay? So when we're thinking we're not wanted by each other and we end up getting love from each other, we embrace it. We embrace it. We cling to it. We're thankful for it. And that makes our relationships better. Okay? Anyway, I don't want to get too much into this. Let me do the introduction. I'm getting ahead of myself because I wanted to share some news with you guys. And this is one thing I'm happy about. Okay? You know how I love hockey, right? Hockey's coming to New Mexico. Yes. Okay? Let me show you this video. Okay? Let me do the copyright disclaimer first. Fair use, fair use. Okay? We're going to use these videos for educational purposes. Okay? We're going to use it for commentary, opinion. Okay? And we're going to have a little bit of fun while we do it. Okay? I'm not showing any of these videos to disrespect anybody. Okay? And I'm grateful to the content creators that created it. Okay? And content creators, you're what makes YouTube and social media a beautiful place. And I thank you for allowing me to use your content. Okay? That's it in a nutshell. Okay? All right, let me pull that down. If you want to read this whole statement, you can rewind, hit the pause button, you can read it. Okay? I'm not going to have it up there all day, but it's still there. Okay? All right, here's the good news. Okay, and it's a little TikTok thing. I'll probably talk a little bit about it, maybe in another video. But New Mexico's getting a hockey team. Not an NHL team, though. I can only wish. But we got a semi-pro team that's affiliated with the NHL. Okay? We'll be seeing the young stars develop and go and play in the NHL. Okay? All right. Let me show you this real quick.
Mexicans are excited to have...
Okay. That's our mascot for our new hockey team. That starts this fall. Okay? New Mexico's first pro hockey team in 17 years is now affiliated with the Colorado Avalanche. Okay, we're affiliated with the Colorado Avalanche. Pretty cool, huh? We kind of got the same colors in a way. Okay, let me play this.
To say New Mexicans are excited to have a pro hockey team would be an understatement.
And we've been blown away on all fronts with the response from the community.
Hundreds of fans came out for the New Mexico Goatheads affiliation and mascot reveal in Rio Rancho.
It's awesome to have hockey back in New Mexico, in Rio Rancho, so we're super excited. And then to have the Avalanche affiliate is epic.
We love the Avalanche, and we usually go like a couple times a year to see them, so we're excited to have it here in New Mexico.
Goatheads General Manager Jared Johnson says they see that support and plan on being in the community, not just playing in it. Johnson says staff at the MAC, or the McDermott Athletic Center, told him youth hockey numbers have already spiked.
These guys are professional athletes, but they love just as much as anything to get out in the community. Really excited for the younger generation to have guys to look up to.
All right, pretty awesome, right? And the name of our team is the Goat Heads. That's our mascot. And you're saying, what's a goat head? Okay, a goat head is kind of like thorns, a little, the little prickly sticker that have thorns. You step on it, it hurts your foot, you pull it out, and it's shaped like a goat head, right? And it's a native thing that's grown in New Mexico. But the goat head too, representing a mountain goat, we do have those out here. So that's what our team's called. But we're affiliated with the Colorado Avalanche, which makes sense because we're, from the town that the hockey team's going to be in is Rio Rancho, which is the second biggest city in New Mexico. It's right next to Albuquerque. They're connected, right? It's almost like a suburb of Albuquerque. Rio Rancho's got about a little over 100,000 people. Albuquerque's about 500,000, right? But this team, and I'm excited. I love hockey, okay? We had like a team a while back, but it wasn't a pro. It was just kind of like a real bottom. But this is, semi-pro. So this is, pretty neat. And I'm excited. I got to see what times I got to look at the schedule because I'm really thinking about buying season tickets. I probably will. I'll probably buy 2 of them where me and Sandy can use them. We could share them with the family. And the season tickets are like from $500 to $1,500. Not too expensive, but it's a semi-pro team. It's not the NHL. It'd be much more expensive. But hockey nonetheless. I'm excited. I'm all for it. Looking forward to it. Okay? But, Okay, but I just want to share that with you. I'm excited about it. The Avalanche is about I think it's like 500 miles away. That's the closest team. And then you got the Dallas Stars is probably the second closest. But, Colorado Avalanche makes sense, right? And a lot of and hockey's growing big in New Mexico. Okay, we're starting to have little league teams, and I think we're going to start having high school hockey. We have it University of New Mexico. We've got a hockey team. They're very good. Okay, we're good hockey players in New Mexico, believe it or not. Okay, you wouldn't think so, but we're pretty. But we'll see how this team does. Hopefully, they're competitive and do good, right? It'd probably be a little rough because they're a new team added. Okay, they're an add-on, so might struggle a little bit. That's okay. We got the hockey team. Okay, even if we had a losing team, I go watch it. I love hockey. I love the just the vibe of hockey. The intensity. I just love to see. And that hockey's a man sport. It's rough. It's constantly impact. You might see some fights, and it just, there's no other sport like hockey. I'm just saying. But anyway, let me go ahead and drop that. Okay, but I'm very excited. But anyway, did I drop that video? I think I did. Okay. All right. Okay, before we start with the show, I'm going to do a little introduction. I'm going to honor some black women. Okay, and I'm going to honor hockey too at the same time. Okay, now, these black women are celebrities, and if you looked at my community wall, you've seen some of the cartoon pictures I created. But these women are successful black women, celebrities, entertainers, and you've seen them whether it's dealing with music, sports, television show, movies, okay, politics, okay, and these women, I think about it, man, it'd be amazing to meet these women, just talk to them, but that will never happen. Some of these women have passed away, okay, but we remember their memory, and we're going to honor them today and honor hockey. I don't know if any of these women were hockey fans or not, but I'm going to throw a jersey on them, and it will represent where they were born or where they were raised or a place they got deep roots in. Okay? And anyway, let me go ahead and show you these real quick. Okay, I love AI. AI is awesome. But I'll do the first one. Okay, we all know Whitney Houston, right? Amazing singer. Nobody had a voice like Whitney Houston. Okay, it was sad and tragic that she passed away. She passed away in 2012. Okay, that was a sad year. That was the year I retired from the Army. I was happy for the retirement, but two black women celebrities that I thought were amazing passed away, and that was Whitney Houston and Donna Summer that year. Okay? But I got her in a New Jersey Devils hockey jersey because Whitney Houston's from New Jersey. She's from Newark, New Jersey. And the NHL team for New Jersey is the New Jersey Devils. So if she was a hockey fan, she'd probably be sporting this jersey because it represents the state she was born and raised in. Okay, makes sense, right? Okay, next woman I'm going to honor. Okay, and we all know Whitney passed away, we know that, but this woman is still alive. Was an amazing athlete, okay, a star of tennis, right? And I should have done a picture of both her and her sister, okay? Okay, and this Serena Williams, okay, her sister Venus, they dominated tennis, okay, amazing. All right, amazing athletes. Serena Williams, she's from Los Angeles, California, from South Central, okay? And if she's a hockey fan, of course it's going to be the LA Kings, right? Los Angeles Kings. And, but Serena Williams, okay, we're going to honor her and the LA Kings, right? Love hockey. All right. So we got a superstar music singer, Whitney Houston, and actress, and Serena Williams, an amazing athlete, a world-class tennis player, okay? One of the best of all time, okay? Now we're going to go to the political side of it a little bit, okay? And look, and this is awesome, okay? This woman, I have high respect for. All these women I do that I'm showing, okay? But when I grew up, when I got married to my wife, I've shared with you that I've had a little bit of an education issue, that I had to go back to school to get my reading level up. I graduated from high school, but, I needed to improve. I needed to do some self-correcting, right? I'm not going to blame the school system, even though New Mexico's the worst in the nation. Just saying. But I was lazy too. So I'm going to take the L for it and turn it into a W, which I did with the help of my wife. And another amazing black woman before my wife that put me on the right track. Okay? All right. But this young lady, okay, this is Condoleezza Rice, okay? She served as a national security advisor with the Bush administration. Okay, and she was also Secretary of State. She speaks a number of languages fluently. One of them is Russian. Okay, very smart woman. Okay, um, she was a professor at Stanford for several years. Right, very highly educated, very intelligent, very high IQ. Um, she's like one in a million when it comes to education and and just being brilliant. Okay, and when I learned about this woman, my wife was pregnant with my youngest daughter, and I was vastly impressed by her accomplishments, her education, how she spoke eloquently. Okay, and just amazing, an amazing black woman. Okay, and I wasn't looking at it at the politics thing. I just, her accomplishments really impressed me. And I liked her name because it was unique, different. And I told my wife, we had our youngest daughter's name picked out. But I told my wife, I said, you know what? I got a name for our daughter. Because we knew she was going to be a girl, our youngest. I said, and she said, I thought we already got a name. No, we're going to name her Condoleezza. And she said, Condoleezza? Condoleezza Rice? And I said, yeah. I said, she's accomplished so much, and I want my daughter to be highly educated, successful. And my wife's like, I agree, that's a good name. And when it comes to education, to me, that's very important. And it runs deep, guys. I'm telling you, it runs very deep. Okay, I struggled, and my wife is highly educated. And I made, and when my kids were born, I made a promise, and I made it clear, my kids will never, ever struggle like I did. Okay? They're not going to have to go in and, take college prep courses to just go to a college. They're going to be ready when they graduate. They're going to be better than I was. I got to do the self-correcting, but I'm going to make sure they don't have to. Okay? And look, me and my wife, we sacrificed to get our children in charter schools, private schools, tutors. We weren't going to let them fall by the wayside. Okay? And with the hope and prayer that my daughter would be smart and successful. Just like I wanted for my other two children, right? I wanted all three of them to be. And when I studied Condoleezza Rice, I said, yeah, that's what I want my daughter to be, like that. Highly educated, successful, eloquent, just amazing. Okay? But I'm telling you, and I think us in this world as human beings, that we got to pass on to our children. We got to self-correct and make sure they don't fall into the same failures or problems we go through, right? And we're human. In life, we have success and failure all the time. Okay, but we got to always self-correct. We got to always do better. But I'm telling you, Condoleezza Rice, I have a lot of love and respect for her. Okay? But anyway, okay, and I just threw a Colorado Avalanche on her because has roots in Colorado. She's a big NFL fan. I don't know if she likes hockey or not, but we're going to pretend she does tonight. Okay? She's also a part owner of the Denver Broncos. Maybe I should have put a Broncos jersey on her. Okay. All right, but very successful. And, she's amazing, and I think for the most part she gets respect from both liberal and conservatives. Okay, you can't deny her success. Okay, now next young lady, okay, is Felicia Rashad. Okay, this woman is an actress, been an actress for years. Okay, a lot of us remember her in the Cosby Show. Okay, she played Claire Huxtable. Okay, Felicia Rashad is amazing, and she's got an amazing sister too. That's also a successful actress. Debbie Allen is her sister. Probably should have done the sister thing with her, and just like I should have done with Serena, right? But she's from Houston, Texas. Okay, but the Texas hockey team is in Dallas, so she's sporting a Dallas Stars jersey. Okay, but Felicia Rashad is an amazing actress. Okay, if you grew up in my era, we watched the Cosby Show a lot. Yes, a lot of white people watch it. It's very popular. Everybody loved the Cosby Show. Okay, and what I was impressed with the image she played in the show. She was a loving mother, a loving wife, a loving mother, highly educated, smart, disciplined. Okay, and that's like the ultimate woman, right? Good wife, good mother, smart, intelligent. Yeah, but anyway, but we know who Felicia Rashad is, right? Okay, now let's go to another young lady. Okay, and this young lady was a superstar singer. Okay, and you know her from I'll put it up here real quick. Anita Baker, right? Caught Up in the Rapture of Love. I Love You Just Because. Anita Baker is an amazing singer. Okay, her music is awesome. Okay, now she was born in Ohio, but she grew up in Detroit, Michigan. Okay, and singing Motown and all that Detroit has that they're known for. And back in the day, they were known as, Motor City, where they built many cars. They still build cars there, but it's not like it used to be. Okay, kind of sad. But she's a Detroit woman, and I think she would love the Red Wings, Detroit Red Wings, if she's into hockey. But anyway, but it's an honor to honor her and the Detroit Red Wings. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, now this woman, this was my childhood crush. This woman was my dream girlfriend when I was little. Okay, I always thought black women were amazing. Even as a little boy growing up, right? Black women are beautiful and amazing. But this was my childhood crush, Donna Summer. Okay, and we know her. She was a famous singer back in the 70s and 80s. She was known as the Queen of Disco. She carried that title. Donna Summer was amazing. Beautiful black woman, great voice. And she passed in 2012, same year Whitney did. She passed from lung cancer. Okay, they said it was caused by, she wasn't a smoker or nothing, but they said it was caused by, the debris that happened on 9/11. And I'm telling you, those terrorists are burning in hell because, unalived, over 2,000 people in the World Trade Center, in the Pentagon. Yeah, it was a time in our nation where, we got a gut punch. But it brought the nation together, okay? There was a blessing behind the tragedy. But Donna Summer passed away in 2012. They said it was because of the degree that happened when the World Trade Center came down. But, she'll never be forgotten. And the hockey jersey she's wearing, okay, that's the Boston Bruins. And she was born in Boston, Massachusetts. So I just put that jersey on her, okay? A very amazing woman, singer. And she opened up her options. She was married to a white man, had children, and, you know, anyway. But Donna Summer, she was truly, man, back in the day, everybody loved Donna Summer when I was growing up. Like I said, that was my dream girlfriend. But anyway, all right. Next woman we're going to talk about is an actress back in the day that passed away. I don't know what year she passed away, but very beautiful woman, very successful actress. Okay, and some of you might not know who she is because this was way back, like 50s, 60s. Into the 70s and 80s and 90s. Well, this young lady's name is Diane Carroll. Okay? And I always thought she was like one of the most amazing, beautiful women out there. I kind of refer to her as like the Black Marilyn Monroe. That's what I think about. Okay? But she's sporting a New York Islanders jersey, and she was born in, I think, the Bronx, New York. So she could be wearing a New York Rangers jersey. I put New York Islanders because I like that hockey team better. But anyway, okay. But those are the young ladies I'm honoring, and what I'm going to do is, if I find more black women that have done amazing things, I know they're out there. I'll put them in a hockey jersey, and if their state has a hockey team that they can represent, or somewhere they got roots in, I'd like to do that. I think that's pretty cool. I love hockey. I love black women, and put it together, it's a perfect combination, right? Okay. But anyway, I'm just having too much fun with this AI thing. But these women are amazing, okay? They're trailblazers, okay? They made movies, sports, politics, anything. Everything, anything and everything black women are into, they just make it better. Okay, whether it's sports, whether it's politics, whether it's acting, singing, I'm just saying. Whether they're conservative or liberal, black women are amazing. I love black women. Okay. Get my pandering out. That people say I pander. And it's funny because all my dusty rivals, you shouldn't be pandering, and you can't save the black woman. Get out of your savior complex. Really, I'm the one that was saved. I'm just saying. and I think that's true on a lot of us white men. You got to admit. Okay? Really, we're the ones leveling up. Okay? It feels good to say a black woman levels up when she opens up her option, but really, we're the ones leveling up. Okay? I'm just saying. Let's be real with it, guys. Okay? I tell you what, my wife has been such a blessing to me that my family sees it. My parents thank my wife for marrying me. My grandparents thank my wife for marrying me. And it feels good, but it's kind of depressing because, man, I was on the road to nowhere. I really was. But you got to give the black woman her credit. We need to love and respect black women. Okay? And like I said, black women have made me better than I thought I could be. And it's not just my wife. My wife has molded me and and had my back and loved me all the way through. But I've been shown love from black women my whole life. Okay? From the time I was a child, growing up. Whether it was my babysitter, whether it was at church. And the thing of it is the times I seen more the black people the most was at church. Do you know that? You know, I heard Martin Luther King say a speech that the most segregated day was on Sunday. Okay? But he was talking about, you know, down south and during segregated times. Okay? I didn't grow up during those times. And I grew up in New Mexico. Where interracial relationships would, you know, nobody really cared. Okay? You do what you want. Hey, there's always haters, but, you know, I think compared to other states, we're one of the more lenient states when it comes to that. So I didn't really, you know, in fact, you know, when I went in the Army, it was kind of like a culture shock that people actually showed hate to me and my wife because we're an interracial couple, right? Not in the Army. The Army was beautiful. But like in the little towns I was stationed in, and most people didn't, you know, go in on us, but there were some that did, and it shocked me. I didn't realize, wow, people are hating us for this? Like, what? You know? And most people didn't. Let me just make that straight. Most people were okay with it. But, you know, some places they're not as accepting as others. I'm just going to say it, right? But that's okay. Me and my wife, we love each other, and nothing's going to break the bond we have, the love we have. So, anyway, if they hate us, they're just going to have to hate us. We're going to live our best life, right? That's what it's all about. Okay? All right, let me take some of this stuff down real quick. I got a slide I want to show you guys, okay? And it talks about leveling up, both for black women and white men. And when I say white men, that means Asian men too. That means Hispanic. That means it means non-black men. Okay, so just if I say black women, white men, it's not just exclusively white men. Okay, I'm kind of thinking in a general sense, right? Okay. All right, let me put this up here real quick. Let me take my logo off there. See if I could do that. So you see the whole sign. Okay. This slide here is black women, white men level up. I.e. black women, non-black men. Okay? Level up. Hello, divested. Dust divested over 4782. Good to see you, young lady. Okay. All right, let's read this real quick. Black women, white men level up. Okay? And on the first line, this is, okay, the positives that black women get from leveling up. Okay? Now, this does not mean every white man is perfect for the black woman. Okay? There are good and bad in all groups. Okay? You still have to have your standards. You still have to vet. Okay? But when we look at numbers, black women, white men, we do better with each other than within our own community. The truth is the truth. Okay? Now, here's some of the positives. Okay? Now, I'm saying what I think. You can disagree. Okay? This is my opinion based on my experience and based on data. Okay? All right, now, black women, okay? when you open up your options, more traditional values, okay? Somebody else will come at me, well, black people have traditional values too. Yes, but I'm talking numbers, right? Okay, traditional values improve marriage rates, okay? When a black woman opens up her options to white men, her marriage rates go up, okay? It improves financial wealth, okay? White men, well, it can vary, but generally white men, we have a little bit more wealth, especially those of us that are traditional, okay? We're good stewards of our money generally, okay? More financial wealth, okay? And plus, white men are held accountable, you know, a lot more, so we tend to self-correct more. So that leads to a lot of times more financial wealth. Okay, here's another one. Less criticism with hair, makeup, less colorism. Okay, now when it comes to hair and makeup, most of us white men, we don't care. Okay, we look. I've never cared about the weave and the makeup and the nails and all that. If that makes the woman happy, God bless her. Let her have it. Okay? I don't look at a woman like if she's got weave and nails as not being traditional. Okay? What I think traditional is and what it is a woman that loves you, marries you, stays married to you, you raise a family together, have children, okay, and you stay together until you're no longer walking the earth. That's traditional. Okay, I don't care. Look, I love my wife. If she wants to throw a weave in and get her nails done, hey, do you. As long as you're happy, I'm happy, right? Okay. So, generally with white men, you're going to get less criticism on that. We really don't worry about that type of stuff too much. Okay? So you're going to get less criticism. Okay? And we really don't know what a weave is till we're, date you for a little bit. And then we learn and okay. But the hair, makeup, the nails, we don't get all crazy over that stuff. Okay? So generally black women don't have to deal with that stuff. And then colorism, less colorism. Okay, some people say, well, white people develop colorism and racism and all this ism stuff. Okay, I'm talking in 2026. I'm not talking about 1845. Okay, I'm talking in today's world. Okay, and look, I know there's racist white men, but here's the thing. White men that love black women, they're not worried about your skin tone. They're not worried about your black features. In fact, we love it. We love you. We embrace everything about you. Okay? And look, that's me. I love everything about a black woman. How she looks, how she walks, how she talks. Her, her personality, her character. Okay, I just love black women. All right? Everything about them. So we don't tend to look and, how dark is she? How light is she? We don't do that. Okay? 1845, I'm sure white people were doing that stupid crap. Okay? I'm talking in 2026. Because I know I get the haters and, well, there was Jim Crow slavery and all this stuff. Yeah, I get it. Okay? That's not happening in 2026. I'm talking about best option today. Okay? All right. But, but colorism, yeah, it came from white supremacy, but sadly, black people practice it a lot. So it's almost like they're practicing white supremacy, the thing they complain about, which makes no sense to me. Okay. But anyway, those are, the pros about leveling up. Okay? All right? You tend, and our marriages reflect on that. Okay? Now, when it comes to white men, what are the benefits we have? Traditional values, same thing. Okay? Most traditional women, honestly, are black women. And it's kind of crazy. It seems like when you go by the numbers and traditional marriage and family, it seems like black women and white men are meant for each other with those type of things. Okay, it's like I don't know. Even though we didn't come from the same communities, it's like we just. And I'm going to say some because people are going to get offended, but I'm going to say a lot of us. Okay, when it comes to black women, white men, a lot of us need to come together. Okay, I'm just saying it. Not everybody, but a lot more. Okay, white men, traditional values. Okay, black women tend. Okay, this is from my experience, and I believe it. Generally, that black women and white men, we share a lot of traditional values, more so than the people in our community. Okay? So we benefit on traditional values, white men do. Improved marriage rates. Our marriage rates go up. Okay? The most successful marriages are black women, white men. More successful than white women, white men. More successful than white men, Hispanic women. More successful than white men, Asian women. And I know I'm going to get hate. I don't care. Okay? Truth is the truth. Now, you can have a great marriage with any race of woman. So don't. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, by the numbers, black women, white men, we do the best. Okay, don't hate us for it. Love us. Learn from us. Okay? And then this goes both ways. Black women, white men, we tend to love each other more. Especially when we come together. We develop a courage to love each other. To love and put each other first. Okay? Now, not all interracial relationships do this, but a lot of them do. And a lot of times we're shamed before we start dating each other, so it's kind of like we're being vetted before we even know who each other is. It's a beautiful thing. Okay? But I'm going to say this. Black women, white men, you are better off with each other. White men, statistically, when it comes to marriage, you're better off with a black woman. And black women, you're better off with a white man. Okay. I'm just saying. And I think it's because we're the leaders of our community and because we appreciate each other's love. We don't take it for granted. Okay? And that's a beautiful thing about having humility. It's a beautiful thing in a way to believe that black women, I'm not saying believing they don't like you, but believe it, you're not expecting them to show you love like that. And when they do, you're so grateful for it, you embrace it. You cherish it. Okay? And we do. And a lot of black women are the same way. When they see a white man showing them love and doing the right thing, it's kind of like a pleasant surprise that, wow, didn't know this would happen, right? Okay? I'm just saying. That's really what's going on. The reason there ain't more interracial relationships with black women and white men is because we're too afraid. We're afraid to get out of that comfort zone. We're afraid to go to the unknown. I think black people call it the crabs in the barrel thing. Okay? Well, us white people, we got the same thing in a way. I think all people do. We're afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of deviating from what everybody else is doing. We're afraid to take the bull by the horns and live our life. Okay? But those of us that have the courage, we're the ones that are going to benefit, and we do. I'm just saying. I do believe that, it's God's plan for black women and white men to come together. Not all, but a lot of us. We're meant to do this. Okay? And that's okay. All right? There are evil people that will try to stop it and say, oh, well, they'll keep reminding you of the past, black women, to try to stop you from dealing with a white man. Instead of looking for letting you go where you're loved and celebrated, going for the best option for you in the here and now, a lot of people are afraid of change. They want to live the old way, even if it's toxic. Okay? A lot of black women are out there that are afraid to date white men or other groups of men. Okay? And a lot of times they'll miss their blessing. And white men go through the same thing. Don't let that blessing, don't let it be taken away from you. Okay? You find somebody that loves you, you embrace them. Okay? And the most beautiful thing is loving somebody that loves you back. And that's the important thing. Not the skin tone. Okay? But having two good people that love each other. That's what it's all about. You heard the military is filled with interracial couples. Yes, it is. Let me tell you, when I went in the Army, where I lived, we didn't see a lot of interracial relationships. Okay, we did see it, but being in New Mexico, the black population is very small, right? So it's not within the proximity, okay? Now, I never dated because of proximity or none of that. I just always loved black women. I would seek them out and search for black women, okay? I loved them that much, okay? And it wasn't creepy. I just, I was attracted to black women, and I'd approach black women, okay? But the military, yes. When I joined the Army, me having a black wife wasn't unusual. I had a squad leader and a platoon sergeant had a black wife. White guys, like me. And I felt like I was kind of at home. And of course, there was a lot of black guys with white wives. We're swirling Army, okay? We just do. A lot of guys have Asian wives, Hispanic. Look, when it comes to the Army, the beautiful thing is we just do, we accomplish our mission. We're like a tight group, and we don't care who's dating or married to who. We do our thing. Okay, unlike the rest of the world where, some people have a problem with it. But the military it was a blessing to see other people that had black wives like me and, talking to other men like, how amazing black women are and hairstyles and all this stuff. You have something in common. It's like, you embrace that friendship because they share something in common with you. Okay, yeah, interracial marriages in the military there's a lot of it. Okay, a lot of these guys are, meet in the military. There's a lot of black people in the military, a lot of black people in the Army. Look, and some white guys go in, fall in love with a black woman, whether they're both military or they find, a person that lives out in town. I mean, that's what's going on. And, it's a beautiful thing. Okay? The military is a different animal. We don't have time for, especially when we're in a combat situation, when we got a mission, we don't have time for that racial division crap. We don't have time for that. We got to accomplish a mission. We go in, we do it, we come home. Okay? A lot of times we don't have time to think about that stuff. And, and that's the beautiful thing about the military. You'll be closer to the people you serve with in the military than you'll be to any group of people. And I can speak by that. Whether you're black, white, no matter what racial group they are, we're a tight group. We're a team. We're a family. We're brothers in arms. And we go in there, we accomplish our mission, and we do what we got to do. Okay? And a lot of times in the real world, you don't see that a lot. And I'm telling you, in the military, you can spot out military guys, because you'll have like a group of people that are all different. You'll have like a couple white guys. One guy might have a cowboy hat. The other guy is dressed differently. You'll have a black guy, a couple black guys that look, and some Asian guys mixed in there, Hispanic, and we all look different, but we're a tight group. I think I need to do a live show on that. I think that'd be a neat thing. Talk about interracial relationships in the military and how we come together. Yeah. That'd be something good to talk about. Anyway, let me not get caught off subject. Okay? We're going to talk a little bit about the black wife effect. Okay? I know a lot of people say, oh, it's just a black woman dresses up the white man, gives him some swag, and no. First of all, the black wife effect was started by white men to show appreciation for their wives. Okay? And to let the world know that our black wives make us better. Okay? It's not about swag or, being spicy. You can just, you can go somewhere with that crap. Okay? Most of the people I see doing the black wife effects, they're not doing the stereotypical black look. I mean, there's a few of them that'll braid their hair and do all that, whatever. But most of us, yeah, we might dress up. We might, do a different style. Look, our wives have, an impact on us. Just like we do on our wives, right? When my wife gets her hair done, she asks me what kind of hairstyle she knows I like braids. She wears braids, right? I don't force her to do that, but she does it for me, right? And look, I've kind of changed my hairstyle a little bit, right? I kept it short, cut like I was in the military because it's easy to take care of. It's still short, but I'm combing it back. That's like a hairstyle I wore back when, me and my wife first met. And she missed that because I couldn't have that in the Army. Okay? And she liked my hair combed back because she'd run her fingers through my hair. Okay? But, that's influence. Some of the styles of clothes I wear, my wife has an impact on that. Hey, that shirt will go, it would look good on you. This outfit, this color. My wife likes white and blue, okay? So a lot of clothes I wear is like white and blue, and she thinks it looks good. She thinks I look good with it, okay? I don't see it, but hey, there's a little influence. And I notice black women, they go into detail a lot of times. Like she'll get a certain color because it makes my eyes, brings out the green in my eyes. My eyes are hazel. They're green and brown, right? And, if you see me in the daytime, they look green. At night, they look brown when it's dark. And people have told me, man, your eyes look like they change colors. No, they never do. It just, the light highlights the green, the dark, makes it look more brown. But colors, I guess, bring that out. And, and it's not her giving me swag. She just, she knows what looks nice and, there's influence there. Okay? But beyond how you dress or the influence, okay, Black women know style. Black women know how to dress, and they know what looks good on their men, okay? Nothing wrong with that, okay? I've always dressed nice, but my wife makes that dressing nice look better. Something black women have, you know? But the black wife effect goes further than that. Not only is she improving how you look, she's improving your character, improving your confidence, giving you the belief, the faith. That's what black women do. You got to do the work, but if you got someone that loves you, that's got your back engaged in you, there's amazing things you can accomplish. I'm just saying, the black wife effect goes beyond, changing a haircut or whatever you're wearing. Okay, the videos look cute and stuff, and yeah, that dude, he looked kind of goofy. Now he looks, he looks like a handsome dude, and she did it. She's the black woman. She worked her black woman magic. Well, black women are doing more than that. They're improving our life. They're improving our character. They're making us better. And truth be told, us white men need to level up. We need to invest in the black woman. You find a black woman who loves you, she'll make you better. I'm telling you. And the black woman does it, for us white men when we, level up. But she does it for black men too. You can see black men improving when they got a black woman that loves them. But a lot of black men take that for granted because, they're used to black women loving on them and stuff. And sometimes they don't see the true blessing. Sometimes they'll be built up and, she'll make him better than he was, and they'll go to another woman and just throw away that blessing and give their wealth to a woman that don't really care about them. I've seen that happen. Okay? But us white men, we tend not to do that. We tend to stay with the woman that loves us. Embrace that blessing. Don't take it for granted. Now, I'm not going to say all. Some people are going to say, not all, not all. But I'm telling you, a lot of us, we don't expect the black woman to love us, but when she does, we appreciate it. We love it. We embrace it. And I think a lot of times black women do the same thing when we show them love. But anyway, that black wife effect is more than swag. What is swag anyway? Okay? It's nice to dress up, get a new hairstyle. That's great. But the important thing is when a black woman loves you and brings out that love in you, brings out that character, brings out that strength you never knew you had. And when the black woman pours her love into you, it's like you're energized. It's like you turn from a lonely monk into a mighty warrior. It's like your spirit changes. It's like your confidence is boosted. It's like your motivation is high. I'm just saying, that's my experience. Okay. But anyway, let's watch a few more videos and and then I'll go ahead and close it unless somebody wants to come up and talk. But let me show these videos. But think about it. Okay? We need, as a nation, we need to get out of this segregated mindset. We need to leave that alone. We need to search for true love. Okay? In today's world, look, there are good and bad in all groups. You go for who loves you. Who's going to pour into you. Who's going to invest into you. That way you can return that love, that investment. Because swirl to investment only works when both people are going for investment. When both people can put each other first above everything. Above family, above friends, above race, above skin tone, above everything. When you can do that, that's when that blessing comes in. Swirl to investment only works when both people, are swirling to investment. Okay? Just like any relationship. If both people aren't in, it ain't going to work. And it's sad because so many relationships, there's a lot of times that one person that loves the other, whether it be the man or the woman, and the other person don't feel that way. But I'm telling you, when you love somebody and they love you back, oh yeah. And if you find that, embrace it. Don't let it go. Okay, let's hear these people talk about the black wife effect. I got 4 black women and 1 white man. Talk about it, right? But these videos are good. Okay? And there's going to be one where the woman's negative on it. Okay? But that's okay. We want to see the negative side too, what people think. Not everybody's going to love you because you're in an interracial relationship. Okay. Let's play this.
Don't do nothing else today.
Okay. Black wife effect trend. Okay. Let's hear what she has to say.
Listen here. If y'all don't do nothing else today, I need y'all to check out the black wife effect trend going on TikTok right now. Baby, these men are eating down. I have consecutively watched a multitude of...
Okay, I don't know what eating down means. I don't know. But anyway, let's continue.
Videos of men and a couple of women who are damn near unrecognizable because of the spice that their black wives added to their lives. And don't get me wrong, the people they were dating were already attractive, so it weren't like they were unattractive people. But the level up, oh, honey, it was like, let me go ahead and sprinkle that little black girl magic on you. See, that's why we say black girl magic. It's really a thing. Black girl magic is really a thing. And watching this trend shows you exactly what black girl magic can do for you.
Okay, what do you think about that video? Is there a thing? Is there that black girl magic sprinkling? Okay. Is it real? Or is she just saying it? I say it's real. Okay. And it goes beyond adding spice and how you look. Okay. Black women are amazing. With their love and their loyalty and their engagement in the relationship, the black woman will make you better. If you find a black woman that loves you and you love her, get ready because you're about to level up. And I'm not talking about getting a haircut or a new outfit or whatever. I'm talking about your life altogether. Because leveling up, it goes beyond how you look and dress. It goes into you being a better man, being more motivated, being more confident, having more faith, and wanting to give back the love she gave you. See, that was always my motivation. My wife loved me so much and has so much faith in me. I was just motivated to be successful. Even if I didn't think I could do it, I just gave it everything. So I could give back the love. So I can make my wife's life easier. To make sure she had more wealth. make sure she was more comfortable, make sure she was happy. That's how I wanted to return the blessing my wife gave me. And the beautiful thing is when I was able to do that, when our wealth grew, and when I could, the most beautiful thing was when we bought our house. Okay? Well, the first one we bought, because, we couldn't buy any house. We had to go with our budget. We bought a little townhome, but it was ours. And that was a beautiful thing. We loved it. We had a place that was ours, our little castle, And then later on, when I came home to New Mexico, and I'm telling you, we wanted to go to Texas, but, my mother-in-law and my stepmother were sick, and we had to come home for the family, and, amazingly, the jobs we got were like, wow, it's like God blessed us. It wasn't in the plan to come back home, even though we love our home. But God pretty much dictates what you do. But the beautiful thing when we come home, and we were going to get our house, and I could tell my wife, this is our budget, go find us a home. You say, well, Roadrunner, why don't you go look for a home with her? Well, I was working at the time, and the house I want is the house my wife wants. If she's happy with it, I'm happy with it. In fact, when we bought our house, and she picked it out, she was enjoying picking out the tile and, and all the little options they give you when you buy a home and what color she's going to do. And the furniture we bought, she's going to organize it. She enjoyed that. But you know what I enjoyed? Watching my wife. Watching her be happy. I didn't even notice the house. I noticed my wife was happy. Because beyond the material stuff, important to me is my wife's happiness. Of course, I like material things. We all do, right? But I didn't really focus on the house. I was focused on my wife and her happiness. And because of her love that she's shown me, when it becomes reciprocated, I never worried about what my wife's going to do for me, whether she's submissive and all this other crap. I just love my wife so much that her happiness was everything. And when you love somebody like that and they love you like that, you're never going to have a problem with anything. Just saying. Anyway. All right, let me remove that. Good video. Yeah, black woman magic is the thing. Okay. All right, let's hear another one.
Are posting these videos.
Okay. All right, Black Wife Effect trend. Let's hear this one.
Black women who are married outside of their race, and they're showing the before and the after of their husband.
And that is where you're incorrect, because it's not the black women that are posting these videos. It is majority of the husbands posting about their black wives. So a couple years ago, and I remember very, very briefly, black men were given this same opportunity. In fact, the white women, they were posting about their black men, but they were fetishizing over them. Fetishizing so much to the point where they would make sure that they would put down black women when they were doing it.
Okay, Let's talk about that, okay? Look, I believe what she's saying is totally true, okay? And that's not everybody. So I don't want no Becky and Tyrone say, we're not like that. We didn't fetishize you. Great, I get it. You didn't, okay? Not all do this, okay? But I see it a lot. I see the fetishization. And the crazy thing is this white men, we're getting blamed for it left and right. But somehow Becky and Tyrone don't get blamed for fetishizing. But you see them do it all the time. Talk about each other in the physical way. Body parts. Okay? You'll see some of these crazy Beckys putting Queen of Spades on their bodies and, and letting black men know they want them sexually. And not all white men or white women do this, right? But it's happening. It's more of a fetish thing, more of a sexual desire. And I think they jump into the relationship. They don't get to know each other. I think that's what's happening. And they're going in for lust. And people say, well, Roadrunner, you can't say that, Not all do that. But I see it a lot. And look, whenever I have discussions with any of my rivals, okay, they always tell me, they say, look, Roadrunner, black women don't like you, and this and that, and most black women wouldn't date you or marry you, and I don't care. I got a wife. Okay, but it's not about that. When I was dating interracially, I wasn't thinking about how many black women will date. No, I was just looking for a black woman that loves me. That I was looking for a wife, and I just felt black women were the best option. You don't need a big body count to accomplish that. You just need to find the right woman. And newsflash, there are a lot of black women that want to date white men. So when they say, and white men, listen to me, when black men tell you black women don't want you and this and that, don't even listen to them, okay? Because a lot of times they're caught in their ego and they don't want you to be with a black woman. They don't want you to be happy with a black woman. They damn sure don't want the black woman happy with you. Okay? And a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them are all in dating Becky and Mei-Ling and Maria, but they don't want you doing it as a white man. They feel some kind of way there. It's almost like you can only be with Becky, but they can be with anybody. Same thing with the black woman. They'll date out. They don't want the black woman to do that. She's got to be race loyal and wait for them till they're done, or hopefully she can find that good black man out there, that diamond in the rough. I'm just saying. Tell me if I'm wrong. Now, I'm not saying all are like this, because if I say all, that's wrong. But a lot of them are. And a lot of it is a fetishizing thing. But yet, we get the blame as white men. Umar Johnson is never called out for being a fetishizer. I've never seen it. Seems like I'm standing alone out there pointing it out. He said 5'5", thick in the thighs, and he talked about being between a black woman's legs, saying it's heaven, but that's not a fetish. That ain't objectifying the black woman. That ain't lusting after her. Well, dang, I guess the definition of fetish is a white man that says a black woman's beautiful, or he says he loves black women. I guess that's the definition, right? Not the textbook definition. And it's irritating because you see it. And nobody puts out the truth. They just spew, they just say what they've always heard and go with it. And a lot of people don't even know what a fetish is. Anyway, let's continue.
All I see is a multitude of men from different race, different cultures, different backgrounds posting about their transition from what they used to know to adapting within the culture of their black wife. And I mean, you might read the comment section and people are encouraging it, but it's clear that black women are not sitting here saying, you know what, I want to be with this white man or this Asian man because I want Blasian babies. Not during this effect. Not during this time, this trend. And it's not black women that's posting. It is their husbands saying, this is who I used to be before I got a black wife. So if you're going to sit here and be the person to address something in the room, be politically and absolutely correct. Because my thing is this, you just said that you have a family, you have a black wife. So, sir, why even make this video? Like, real talk, like, I don't see the point of you making this video. It sounds to me like you're happy, and it sounds to me like maybe you had a glow up as well, and you could talk about your experience of having a black wife, because there are some black men that even talk about this black wife effect as well. Some black women that talk about having a black wife effect. So with that being said, it's like you're really trying to like kind of push a narrative that's not true. Black women personally do not care that you decide to step out your race. You've been doing that for way before we ever considered it. Way before we ever really did it. Y'all were already doing it. Like,
Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Yeah, black men, I did it more often. Um, and my thing is, you know, that black and white effect, and it took place a while back. Okay, I've done a number of videos on the black wife effect, but it's see the black wife effect. It goes beyond a glow up. It goes beyond a haircut and a new outfit. The black wife effect will change your life. Okay, the little improvement we see in a video, that's a small picture of what the black wife effect is. It goes deeper than that. Okay, but the black wife effect started because of white men showing appreciation for their black wives. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, a man should uplift his wife. Okay? But I think so many people got caught in their feelings because how dare these people make a video of a black woman, white man being happy? I mean, really. And of a white man uplifting a black woman. And see, here's the thing. People try to shame me for loving black women. A lot of these dusty dudes do. They say, don't be in your savior complex and you can't save black women. They're just too far gone. They don't want you to save them. And it's not about that. It's about finding true love. And I'll say it. I said it and I'll say it again. The black woman actually saved me. You know? But I think reciprocating the love I received, it's kind of like we save each other, right? My wife made me better. And in turn, you know, I build more character. I show my wife more love. And guess what? You're both getting better. You're saving each other, you might say. And that's what I was after. You know? But I do promote interracial relationships. And it's not so-called to save black women. It's to be an example. And talk about the love that black women give. To show the blessings, you know, from black women. To share my story. And when I share my story, it's not a story, it's a testimony. You know? And why should we hide that? there's been people that told me, well, look, Roadrunner, you got a black wife, great. Okay, you're happy. You got a good family. You're doing good financial. Why do you got to talk about it? Why don't you just, love your wife and just shut up? We don't want to hear it. Well, you need to hear it. You need to hear the truth. Because you got enough time to bash black women. You got enough time to attack interracial couples because you feel a certain kind of way. You got time for that, but I'm supposed to shut up about my blessing. But you can speak freely on your hate? No, I don't think so. We got too many dusty Diablos out there running around causing trouble. They're not checked for what they're spewing. But I gotta be silent on my love for black women. I gotta keep, my life, hidden and act like it's not happening. I'm just saying. And the thing of it is we influence people every day, whether you like it or not, or believe it or not. No matter how popular you are, no matter how many people you know, you're an influence to somebody. And I'm not going to sit here and be silent and act like interracial relationships don't happen and not uplift black women because some Becky or Tyrone might get upset. I don't care. Black men and white women can uplift each other all they want. But us white men and black women can do the same. Okay? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If black men want to be the most that open up their options and date and marry out, well, black women can do it too. And black women should never feel guilty about who they're with, who they love. And I see this swirling guilt all the time. I see black women out there that will actually love that white man, but feel so guilty because she's been called a traitor, a bed wench, a sellout, because she loved that white man. But yet, Tyrone could go out and be with white women, Asian, Hispanic, and nobody checks him on that. No guilt there. In fact, it raises his ego. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Now, this ain't everybody doing it. But when have you seen black men say, you know what? I don't know, I love my race. I don't know. Oh, man. I don't want to give the colonizer because our people have been abused. And I see black women do. I never see a black man do that. Heck no. He's quick and fast to chase that. He's quick to chase Becky. It's almost like a conquest. But black women can't do it. Like, what? And white men, we're not supposed to do it either. And that's the world we live in. But see, the reason it's that way is because black women have a big heart. It's because black women are loyal. It's because black women pour their heart in everything they love. And a lot of people are evil, and they exploit black women for their love, their emotions. And many times they keep them away from that white man they love that loves them back. For what? To put a couple people in a swirling curse so your ego can be lifted? Anyway. All right, notice how I spoke in general and I didn't point one person by name? Huh? But I see this too. Do not feel guilty for who you love. Okay? Get out of the 1840s, okay? Slavery's over. Okay, and I'm not dismissing the evil that happened. But we're in 2026. Okay? Slavery was a worldwide thing, okay? Every racial group, every ethnicity, every country, every continent participated in it. It was evil, it was wrong. Let's live in 2026. When we look at the past, we look at it to learn from it, not to live in it. Too many amazing, beautiful black women and good white men that can have a awesome marriage, a beautiful relationship. And they don't, because we can't live in 2026. And if you can't live in the here and now, and you're focused on the past, what you need to do is build a time machine and go back and try to fix it then. Because I'm about fixing the here and now. I'm about the best option. The best option is the black woman. And if you don't believe me, you better do some damn research. It's okay to have your preference. Go where you want. And here's the thing. We have to live in the here and now. Ladies and gentlemen, live your life. Find that person that loves you. If they don't look like you, that's okay. Hey, Shelly, how's it going? Good to see you, young lady.
Hi, Brett. How are you?
I'm doing good. You doing okay?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Oh, it's good to see you. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, I've been busy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just thought I'd make this video tonight, this live, and kind of talking about the love power and the black wife effect in it too. And there's stuff I see when it comes to interracial relationships that there's some barriers that some of us just can't get over. And the thing of it is, and I see it in black women a lot. I know black women are shamed for dating out and if they're married out, more so than any other group. I know we'll all get some sort of hate for opening up our options, but not like black women. And I think it's just so destructive and so evil that people are not able to be with who they love. And then when they figure out that the one that loved them and they let them go because of influence, they find out too late. And it could be hurtful, it could be devastating to some people. And unfortunately, we don't just look at the, happy that someone found love. And if it's a good man or woman, why? I mean, why would anybody have a problem? You know what I'm saying? But
I no, I agree. I agree, and it's a lot of nuance to that.
yeah,
But
there is.
but it's because of the brainwashing um in the black community about the white man is the enemy and the colonizer and stuff like that. And so that's just how black women were programmed. Black women were fed black love.
Hmm.
And like you said, that you don't see that with black men. They don't come out here and say, oh, I'm not gonna be with, an other race, um just black
Yeah,
women, white supremacy. They don't think like that.
they don't.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a difference because even with the Danish deception guy, you had a lot of black women, and I really wish that black women would stop doing this. Like, black women have this annoying behavior that when something goes wrong with a black woman, and it's not just black women that does it, the whole community, black men do it as well. But it just seems like black women are more susceptible. I hope I'm saying the word right.
Hmm.
Because you had a lot of black women that came online and was telling black, that's why you shouldn't date a white man, because you see black women, you see what happened. These white men use you, and they put fear in black women. And like you pointed out, black men don't operate like that. You see, in my opinion, and I'm going to be honest, I think that black men overall do interracial relationships better. And I'm going to explain. The reason
Hmm.
why is because they tend to look at a situation on an individual basis,
Mm.
if you understand what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
would not come online, even with I forgot I don't want to butcher his name, but the guy, the black guy that got unalived when his girlfriend was beating him in the elevator.
Yeah.
um you did not hear as a collective that black men were shaming other black men. You see, black men, that's why you shouldn't date out your way. You see, that's why you should stay
Right.
with black. You did not get that as a collective, because they don't operate like that. They just operate, well, that's that scenario.
Right.
That's
Right.
him.
That
But
that
black
that is
women don't.
right, and that's such a good point because there are white women that unalive their black boyfriend or husband, and it's like crickets. There was a one white woman that's cleaning the gun and accidentally, hit the black man, and there wasn't an uproar. There wasn't like, okay, black men, you get with the white woman, this is what's going to happen. You know, they don't do that. It's like, okay, well, yeah, that's their situation. I'm living my life. But when it's a white man that does it, oh my God, that's what white men do. If you get with a white man, black women, that's what's going to happen to you, and it's like all white men do this. But when a white woman does it, it's like, they don't even. It's like they don't even care. It's weird. It's and that one black man, and maybe they were kind of upset because he said he'd rather have sex with a white dog than a black woman, which was evil to say, and he got unalived. Maybe, but still, even if I don't know, it just you're right. There ain't the same effect on it, and I think it's revolves around the male ego, the black man's ego. I do. I know people are going to hate me for saying that, but what else could it be? Because if you date and marry out, you don't have a right to tell the black woman. I'm married to a black woman. I don't have a right to tell a white woman she can't go get with a black man. That's her business. That's her choice, right? But it don't go the same way the other way around. And I don't mind people criticizing white men that exploit black women or do them wrong or fetishize them. If you see them doing it, hold them accountable by all means. But yeah. But anyway, I'll stop there. I'll be talking all night about that.
No, no, but you're right, and I'm glad that you brought it up just before I got on, because that is what I notice as well, and I've noticed it for quite a while. And even on the flip side, you don't see white women either that would come online and say, if a black man was to abuse a white woman, I'm sorry, and unalive her, whatever, you do not hear as a collective that white women will come online and say, white women, that's why you shouldn't date black men. It's only black women that do that. And it needs to be studied, and I think because of this notion that black women see black men as victims of white supremacy.
Right.
right? They see black men as white supremacy is doing something to black men.
Mhm.
And I think that's where it kind of boils down to, is like, well, I have to show my loyalty because the whole world is against them. And I think it's subconscious. On a subconscious level, it's like we have to protect black men. We have to choose black men because of the
Mhm.
system. The system is making them do that. The system is who's making them sell drugs. The system is the ones that's keeping them from their children. It's somebody else's fault. Is no accountability. And I think that when the whole and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong. I'm just saying how I see it. I just feel like
Mhm.
with the whole Danish deception thing, it was a way of showing black men loyalty. Like, you see, that's I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's just I don't know. It's psychological. I don't know what to call it at this point, because it's just a weird behavior, because you do not see this type of behavior in any other race of woman. Um, and I even had a coworker. I I was watching a video about Korean men,
Uh-huh.
and there's this whole thing called Korea Boo, where like Western woman is going to Korea to get boyfriends and stuff like that. So I was watching the content creator, but I didn't have my headphones on. And my coworker, she was sitting there, she was listening, and I was telling her about it. I just thought it was funny, the way
Mhm.
that this content creator was talking. Like, she was just making jokes and stuff, and I was laughing. And so when I was explaining it to her, because she had walked into the room in the midst of it, so she was like, "Oh, what's that?" And I was explaining to her and about them going to Korea to get Korean boyfriends, and she automatically, like clockwork. Oh, well, not me. I love my black man. And I'm just like, I look at her like, what? Like
Right.
what? Like
You-
who? Like what are you talking about? And I just gave her a look, and I didn't say. I was like, like what? And then she shut up, and I just put my head. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? But it's just like this snap. Oh, she has to, like, oh, not me. You know what I mean? And it's like, sis, like, okay, it was not
right.
even about you, like black. About you in particular, a black woman. It was just like Western woman. But I just found it funny. But it's just
Right.
like she just have the innate something in her to just come out, and I guess she felt like I was gonna be like, yeah, girl, me too. And I didn't say that, and she shut the
Yeah. You know what's funny about that is that's been going on forever. I remember like back in the 80s till now. I remember when the interracial thing was, in the late 80s and 90s when it's starting to pick up, and you started seeing, more black women, white men, start to get together. And, they even had shows on, talk shows talking about interracial dating and marriage. And, there'd be a black woman with a white man, and they'd be talking about the relationship. And there'd be that black woman, not me, I'm for the black man, and and no matter what, and just have to just put that out there, like, you, it is like, and I think like you're saying, like you just want to prove your loyalty, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird because you know we don't do that as white people. I mean, and honestly, we don't go in on each other for interracially dating white men and white women. We don't. I mean, there's some white women that are so black male identified they'll trash white men, but it's actually not that many that do that. And us white men, we really don't say nothing. If a white woman goes with a black man, we don't care. And in today's world, we just it don't mean nothing. Unless the white man was dating the white woman and she ran to the black man, that'd be the only way it would be an issue or a problem. Um, we we don't go out and shame black women for dating white women for dating black men. Now the Becky Spade group, I go in on them because putting tattoos and fetishizing it and it's degrading herself in the man she claims she loves because it's all about sexual activity. Um, and I mean that's their choice to do that, but if you love somebody, you love them and you go to them. Um, and it makes white people look bad, like we're even though us white men ain't marking our bodies to let black women know we're interested. But, stuff like that I might go into. But other than that, we don't care. If that's your preference, that's your preference. Um, and I think it's easier for us white people to do it. White men, I could date and marry who I want. Really, there was never anybody going to stop me. There were so-called friends that didn't agree with it or tried to talk me out of, but that's as far as it went. Um, and people say, you got white privilege, and I would always say, no, I don't. I got to work hard too. But you know what? I really do have that white privilege because my mindset is I could do what I want. If I want to be with a black woman, marry a black woman, I can. It don't matter how many of them like me. I'll find the one that does. It just nothing. There's no, and maybe that's just my mindset. Nothing's going to stop me from what I want. Um, but anyway, that's just where my mindset is. But I don't know. I just think black women have been the leaders for so long and have protected black men for so long that black women a lot of times are in that mindset and they feel guilty if they weren't there for the black man. And sometimes that's even if she's with a white man she loves and wants to be with. Sometimes that guilt gets in the middle and it can destroy a relationship, you know?
Yeah, I
And it's
agree.
conditioning, brainwashing. And then the black man, he's used to being, catered to, taken care of. He's used to the black woman always being there. And when she's not, he kind of loses it. I think. And not all. This is just what I think. Um, and I think that becomes a problem. And then they see the white man, well, historically, he's the oppressor and he's, and then they feel some kind of way. But when they're with a white woman, it's like kind of a dominance over the white man. Because I got your woman, I got your girlfriend, or whatever. Us white men, we don't see it like that. I never thought me being with a black man, that being with a black woman, I never thought of it as taking a black man's woman. I never, I just love that woman and she loves me and that's what I looked at it. I never looked at it as, well, we're the same skin tone so we have to be together. Anyway,
Yeah.
but
I just wanted to piggyback on something that you said.
uh,
Um I just when it comes to the word fetish,
mm,
I I do believe that black men fetishize black women more than any race of men, um,
I
because
think so too.
black men would just say, "Oh, she got a fat, but
Yeah.
she got a nice body," and it you never really hear, "Oh, she's like a great person. She's smart. She's just overall just a wonderful human being." It always have to do with the body, and yet and still when other races of women say that they have BBCs, they
Hmm.
don't mind that fetish. It's just when it
Right.
comes to black women, it's an issue because they um they get a ego boost from that fetishization. They don't care because that actually helps them in the dating market. Because if you have a big peen, a lot of women
Mm-hmm.
love big peen, so
Mm-hmm.
that helps you in the dating market, as well. So they don't push back against that. But if a white man, God forbid, he would say, I love your chocolate skin, or you
Yeah.
see, he just describing you as a food, and that, I don't know what is wrong with black women. They was just whatever these black men say, they will go along with it. Like, yeah, you're right, and it's crazy to me, and it's annoying because sometimes I just wish that black women would just shut up. I just wish that just take everything in stride,
Right.
and I'm just gonna admit, I just wish that more black women would actually date interracially, like how black men date interracially.
Right.
You just don't talk about it. If a white man or an Asian man say, I love chocolate woman, I love their chocolate skin, it looks like cocoa, you say thank you, you move on. Because it's nothing wrong with somebody say, because I there was a guy that liked me. He happened to be black, and he was staring at me. And I said, what you staring at? Like, 'cause you going in my face? And and he was like, oh, I was just looking at your caramel skin, right? And I said,
Right.
oh, okay. And I was just like, okay, you could have just said, something. You're just staring at me, so I just had an attitude because I don't know what you're staring at. But
Right.
would that be a fetish? Because he looked at my skin and likened it to caramel. You know what
You
I mean?
know.
Like
Right.
it's just
It,
that's
it,
his interpretation of what my skin looked like. He thought it looked like caramel, so he
yeah.
was admiring my skin complexion. But oh my God,
I
if a
don't.
white man had said that, and black men, that would have been an issue. But this was a black man that said it to me.
Yeah. If somebody says that, well, that could be a fetish. Then it might not be. He likes chocolate skin. He likes your complexion. That might just be an innocent thing. Or maybe he's just so turned on by it that he's lusting after the skin tone. Um, yeah, I mean that it could go either way with that.
I
And
think
here's the
so.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
here's
I
the
think.
thing.
Hmm.
Here's the thing with the fetish. Okay, let's be honest. Men and women are attracted to each other. Okay, physically, sexually. Okay, if you're a man, you see a woman's body, right? You're going to get turned on, and women get turned on seeing men, right? That's a natural thing. But when you're dating, you don't, you're not supposed to be thinking about that person in that way. Okay, you're just trying to get a relationship, and but when you're married and you're going to do your thing, but there's love, all areas of love, and it's okay to be attracted sexually as long as you love each other. You're in a marriage, okay? But to fetishize somebody, if and I get it, you shouldn't do that because you're just looking at them in a lustful way, and you know, but
Yeah, but even all those songs by black men,
right,
red bone and light skin, they talk more about black women's complexion than any other race of men. And that's what upsets me the most, is because then you have these black men lying and saying that this is what these white men do. I don't hear white men singing songs about red bone or
yeah,
stuff like that about black women.
we
I just hear black men do that. So that's why it irks me when black women and black men would say that white men just fetishize. It's like what is the word? Consonant, dissonant. Sometimes I can't pronounce right, but
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It
yeah,
don't make
they
sense.
don't
It's like,
they don't see that, and I'm going to say this too: fetishes, fetishization. It in my opinion, and I could be wrong, and I need you to help me with this.
okay,
I think it helps kind of the individual or the collective, because what are black men known for, right? And it helps them in the dating market. Same with Asian women. Asian women are known for being docile and soft and all of the above, and a lot of Asian women are not. But it works on their behalf
yeah,
because that's how
um,
men see. You understand? So what I'm saying is that
right,
it, like you said, it could be a bad thing, or it couldn't, or it could be a good. It depends. But I think it
yeah.
helps in a way. You know what I mean? I don't
Well,
think
yeah,
necessarily it's a whole bad
well,
thing.
it can develop a preference, and
Hmm.
um, well, the first thing before you date, at first it's how somebody looks. Let's be honest. You're attracted to how they look. Okay, you catch each other's eyes, and then you approach, and that's the first thing you see is how somebody looks. Now you don't know their personality. You don't know if they're a good person or a nut job. Um, a woman could be the most beautiful woman but be a psychopath. You don't know, right? Same things with men. They could be the most attractive guy to that women see, but he might be a nut. You know, um, and that's the thing. We're going to have you got to be attracted to each other. You got to have the physical, okay? But that shouldn't be the overriding thing because that could be dangerous, and a lot of relationships don't work because people are focused on the physical, how they look. Um, you got to have a balance, okay? Um, and let's be honest, we as people, we're biased, and what we think's attractive is what we think. And look, we all experience rejection, and we all reject people. Okay, um, but you have a preference. You know what I mean? You got to be attracted to that person, how they look, but then build off it. Their personality. Do you guys share values? And that's the key. If you could go deeper than the physical and get to know each other, that's the key. Okay, um, but and but in society we're kind of messed up. I mean, we look at the physical and run with it, and it's society has brainwashed us with that. They tell us in movies, and what we're taught is that people that date each other are having sex, and a lot of it, and that's what we're supposed to do. And that's our problem. We don't get to know each other. We jump in, we're attracted to each other, jump in bed, and think that's how it's supposed to do, and hope it works out. And we're conditioned through society. Look at the movies, okay? Look at these teenage movies, okay? Teenage kids in high school, and what are they trying to do? Hook up, have a party, have sex. Break that virginity. And the thing of it is, that's a bad message to send, because that leads to diseases, that leads to unwanted pregnancies, that leads to a bunch of problems. And mentally it messes us up as people. And I know I'm kind of radical in that way, that I believe a man shouldn't touch a woman till she's his wife, right? The world ain't living like that, you know. And in my opinion, I think we need to go back to the basics. You know, you leave your home, you find a wife. You don't leave the house and sow your royal oats and date and mess around with everybody. That's our problem. Um, but anyway, I could go on forever about that too. Um, and I know I'm drifting here, but
No, I mean you're talking about your beliefs and ideals, and there's
right,
nothing wrong with that. That's what you believe, so you have every right
right.
to express them. So
And most people don't believe like that. And they do
yeah,
in a way, in a way they don't. It's like, okay, most people will get together and have sexual contact before they get married. Okay? And can it work out? Yeah, it can work out. But in my opinion, it's better to wait. But, you know, I've been raised traditional. I've been raised as a Christian. That's what we're supposed to do. And it's biblical, it's morality. Um, and I'm not going to go around and look at people and just start pointing fingers like you're not living right. But I just believe if we went to the basics and got to know each other, it would be a lot better off. And I think we'd value each other more. Because, but anyway, I don't want to get all started in that. But, you know, back to
oh
the.
yes, yeah. Sorry, back to the topic with the black wife effect.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm glad that the black woman pointed out that it was the white husband that was the one that was
Yeah.
posting the video, and it was a white man that started that black wife effect trend. And
Mm-hmm.
I forgot his name, and I don't have my tablet right now. I would look him up, but he was actually doing an interview. It was a white man. He went on a talk show, and I forgot because remember this was like a couple of years back, and I
Mm-hmm.
forgot. But it was a white guy, and he went online and he was talking about um why he did that in the first place is because he was so happy with his wife, and he wanted to talk about what his how his wife made him feel. He
Right.
started that trend. And there was a rumor going around with some black men that said that it was black women that went and got their white husbands to do the trend. That was not true. It was started
Right.
by a white man. And
Yeah,
it's
I
so
just
funny how
shown.
those black men was hating, but none of these black men started the trend.
Right. And the crazy thing is some of these black men were like, well, they're stealing the black man's swag and this and that. Like they had to insert themselves in it, like the white man stealing from them. Like it was crazy. Um, I don't know. I didn't see that. I seen men get different haircuts, going from a t-shirt to wearing a suit. Um, you know, I didn't see him really going the stereotypical hip hop black culture type thing. Um, I seen a couple guys do that, but really it was mostly they got a clean haircut and put on some nice clothes. Really, um, yeah. But yeah, I was started by white men, you know, showing appreciation for their black wives. And really, I do the black wife effect almost every time I go live. If you really look at it, um, you know, I tell people how amazing my wife is, how my wife improved my life, but I tell how black women in general that I've been around have improved my life, and it goes it comes from not just dating black women, but friendship with black women. Um, I talk about my babysitter. That was impactful. The black women in church I knew, that was impactful. I I don't, maybe, I don't know why it's that way. You know, there could have been white women that did that, but it didn't happen that way for me. And I don't know why, but I seen something that was beautiful and amazing as a child. I always thought black women were amazing when I was little till I grew up. I never lost that love. And, you know, and I talk about it, and am I the only one that sees it, that sees the truth? Am I the only one that sees how amazing black women are and how much of a blessing they are? I don't know. Maybe we're just so, our mindset is so messed up. Maybe we're in that segregated mindset so much that we've been conditioned not to see beauty in others. Because I don't know. And not all people are like that, but a lot of people are. You know, growing up, people thought I was crazy for, you know, wanting to date black women. Not all people, but, you know, it wasn't in the norm. And I think that's why people thought it was weird, because I wasn't like going with the flow with everybody else. And really I couldn't, because that's where my heart was. And Shelly, I'm telling you, the crazy thing is I tried to change my preference. I tried to be more attracted to white women, and I couldn't do it. When I was younger, I started believing there was something wrong with me. Because I've been told that. I was conditioned that way. But really, that wasn't how it was. And it wasn't my parents that conditioned me, as other people around me. And looking back, I think, wow. I mean, and I think black women do almost the same thing that I was doing. Training themselves to be attracted to the men in their community that share the same skin tone. You know, and I tried that, and I felt guilty. I felt guilty for loving black women at one point in my life. Now, these are my teenage years, so probably, but I started, and I tried to change, and I couldn't. I had to come to the realization, you know what? They say I'm biased. Guess what? I'm biased. But I'd rather be wrong and happy than trying to force myself to go a certain way. And thank God I didn't do that as an adult, because I might have got with a white woman that was a good woman and, you know, and hurt her because I wasn't in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Look, I could see, when I was younger, I could, and this is my mindset. You could have, before I got married, put a white woman that's a supermodel and an everyday black woman that's just average, or even below average. And I would always pick the black woman. I'd be more attracted to that black woman than the white woman supermodel. And if you ask me why, I'll tell you why. Because I know what I'm going to get from the black woman. I know that if she's into me, I'm going to get true love. I'm going to have somebody that's got my back. I'm going to have that loyalty. I'm going to feel true love. Not saying a white woman couldn't give me true love, but not like a black woman. Okay? And I know I'm sounding really biased here. I know some people are probably thinking I'm hating. I'm not. That's how I feel. And it's not out of hate. It just, that's where my heart is. And you know what? Nothing wrong with that. My life turned out pretty good. I'm happy. I love my wife. I love my family. You know, I thank God that I was able to have the courage to live my life and not live it how other people wanted me to. But I almost did. I almost fell into that guilt. And I see black women doing that all the time. They feel guilty for not standing up for the black man. They feel guilty for loving a white man. They feel guilty for those feelings. And that's not a good place to be in your life. Let me tell you, I've been there. If your heart belongs to a certain woman, guys or ladies, it belongs to a certain man, you can't not turn that on and off. And some people do, and some people end up destroying a good relationship, a blessing. And I hear so many people talk to me about interracial relationship, that they had that girlfriend that loved them. They had that boyfriend that loved them. But because they're black and white, they felt they couldn't do it. Whether they felt society wouldn't allow them, or they just had that racial loyalty guilt. And that truly bothers me, because people can't live their life the way they want to. They can't love who they want to. And when they finally wake up and say, you know what, I need to go to somebody that I love, that loves me back. They missed out on that blessing, that opportunity for true love.
Yeah.
I'm speaking on my experience, and look,
But
I'm
you
not the
see how
only. Yeah, go
but
ahead.
you see how you could talk about your experience without putting down another race of woman though?
Yeah, and well, it's because I never hated white women. I never. Look, I don't think one person is better than the other. I love black women. Okay, it just, that's where my heart is. I can't turn it off. I can't turn it on, off and on. It's not a light switch. That's just the way it
And
is.
also, I'm sorry to cut you off, Brent, but
No, go ahead.
also in the black white effect, none of those men ever, none of those white men ever bash white women. You notice that through the whole
Hmm.
trend. It was just those how those black women made them feel.
Right. And, and
The love.
and that's love there. See,
Hmm.
when you really love somebody, you're not worried about, like, like me. I love black women, so I never focused on white women. It didn't matter, and because that's not where my heart was. So, you know. But the thing of it too, Shelly, is, I my father was tough on me, and he humbled me, right? And it wasn't a bad thing. It was the right thing. My father never told me I was great because I'm his son. He always kept me level. Like, if you want to be great, you got to earn it. You're no better than anybody else. And I always felt that way. So I had humility. So my ego wasn't getting involved in it. And the thing of it is, with black women, I was never hateful if I got rejected, because I expected it. Um, but when I was accepted, I embraced it. You know what I mean? I was
Hmm.
grateful for it. And that was my whole focus. And I thank God for that. I thank God I didn't have a big ego and thought I was all that. Um, and so I never, and that helped me navigate through the interracial dating thing, because I could get rejected and it wasn't the end of the world. I expected black women to reject me, but I had faith that there's a black woman out there that's going to love me with all her heart. And I just had to find her. And I did. So I think a lot of times our relationships work is we're humbled. And us white men, we're held accountable. We're humbled, whether we want to admit it or not. I mean, people tell us we're colonizers, we did all this horrible stuff, everything's our fault. And whether we believe that or not, psychologically, it's in our head. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times we'll try to do better and overcompensate for what happened in the past, even though we weren't part of it. And I think that, to a point, is a strength we have. Because if it's not our fault, we can't fix ourselves. Sometimes it's not a bit, sometimes it's good that it's your fault so you can fix it. You know what I mean? Because, and I see black men falling into this trap. Well, it's racism, it's white supremacy, and I didn't get that job because the man's holding me back. Well, maybe he didn't earn that job. Maybe he wasn't good enough. But if he believes, if he's the victim, well, it's not his fault. And if it's not his fault, how can he fix it? I'm just
That's
speaking in
correct.
general. Not all black men do that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, you can fall into that trap, that victim trap, where, and it's human nature. When we mess up, we never want to admit it. It's human nature to, well, the reason I did that because of this, and it wasn't my fault because this happened and that happened, and we feel better. But when it's pointed out it's our fault and we're wrong, it hurts, and we don't want to go there, but we have to. We have to have our face in the mud every now and then so we can self-correct, so we can improve. And I try to be humble when I come up here, and I try to tell people my weakness. Some people say I should not share that. Like when I graduated high school, when my reading level is at a sixth grade reading level. And when I struggled to get in the Army because of my test score, that's embarrassing. I don't like sharing that, but I feel like I kind of have to. And because I got to keep myself grounded so I can do better. Because if I blame the school system or my parents or everything else, then it's not my fault, so I would never improve. And that humiliation, that embarrassment made me want to do better. And with my wife's support, and look, I hired tutors, I went to college prep courses, and it took some years to get it right, but I'm glad I did it because it led for me to have more opportunities. And then later on in life, I was going to college. I felt good about myself. I was learning something. I could pick up books and read, and it was a new world. Like, I can actually read a book and know what's going on. You know what I mean? It's like it turned into a hobby to go read books. I never thought I'd be at that point. But I know I'm drifting, but what I'm saying is we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And I just want people to know that, even when everything's against you, you can still make it. And, don't be afraid to open up your options. Don't be afraid to approach that woman. Okay? You might get a black woman that, rejects you. Might say something mean to you. Oh, well. Just think of it, okay, you're lost, okay? And just go about your business. But
Yes, I appreciate everything that you're doing, Brent, and thank you again for allowing me to come up and share my opinion.
oh yeah,
And
anytime. You're always welcome here. And I'm sorry I talk so much, but
no, no, no,
I,
no, you
I
don't talk
just
too much.
I
I
just
like hearing your stories. I like hearing your perspective, and I like hearing about your things. You have yours, I have mine, everybody else have theirs, and there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with sharing. That's what makes this world beautiful. Like you're saying, if everybody could just get along, we're all different, but at the end of the day, we're all still human beings. And your lifestyle and your way of walking is your lifestyle, your way of walking, and that's okay.
Right.
I
Yeah.
am fine with it. I love hearing you speak, and I don't. You don't have to apologize for you being who you are. I think I've been knowing you now online for about 5 years or so. Um,
Yeah.
and that's how you have always been, and that's okay. I keep coming back. So it's not an issue. It's not an
I
issue.
appreciate that. Yeah. I just
Okay.
I just want to be real and honest. And and that's all it is. And I want people to know, look, self correction is the key. But you know what? My all my kids are college educated because of, the struggle I went through, and I didn't want my kids to go through that. And I got to look for this video because there's this black woman, like, kind of in the same situation. She had trouble reading and struggled, and her kids were like college educated and stuff. And kind of like my story, right? And that's the thing. And if we love our children, we don't want them to struggle with what we went through. And a lot of times they excel because we make sure they have every opportunity to be successful. And that's all. That's all I'm saying. I mean, um, but I like sharing my story, and it hurts to say it. It's embarrassing, but
But
you know what?
look at where you are now.
Yeah,
It might be embarrassing, but to you, however, how I see it is that you had that issue or whatever, but then look what you've accomplished after that. And you know what? It could actually help someone that might be going through the same thing. So
yeah,
is in my opinion, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with sharing your your um what's the word I'm looking for? Damn. Your experiences of what you went through, because you
yeah.
were able to join the military, right? You
Hmm.
and you were able to have jobs and have careers, so that didn't stop you. So to someone that may be watching and is struggling and might be going through the same things, they're like, well, okay, well, he did it, I like him. um you know what I mean? And that person could hear your story, your experience, and then and say, well, that didn't hinder him, look what he accomplished, and then I can do it too, because I don't see how I'm any different from him. So
Right,
that's why it's good to share your experience, because you don't know what somebody else is going through. People will
right.
come online, and it might be oversharing, and but someone might be going through things that you don't know. You might think you're the only one that's going through
Hmm.
some things, and you come online and, oh, there's a video about this girl that lives in Arking, you never met her or whatever,
Yeah,
totally different lifestyle. And she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going through the same thing too. I thought I was like the only one. I didn't know who to talk to. I felt embarrassed, but here is this person that's talking about it. Oh, what did she do? Oh,
right,
okay, that's what she did. Oh, okay. I could do that too. You don't know. People, you walk outside every day and you walk past people. I'm telling you, you don't know what kind of day they're having. I remember one day, I was just having a bad day, and no,
hmm,
this is a true story. I was having a bad night, okay, and I was on my way to work, and I'm like, man, I knew I should have called. I thought, it's not today. Like, I just don't feel right, and I'm in the restaurant, right? I'm getting lunch, and I'm just like Aggie, and in walks a black woman with a little white dog. And I saw her coming and I thought the dog is cute. I just minded my business. And the dog comes up, I swear, the dog comes up to me on my leg. And I'm like, hey. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's a friendly dog. And I'm like, it's okay. And I bend down to pet the dog. And I'm like, well, what's his name? And I forgot the dog's name, but she told me the dog's name. And I'm like, hey, buddy, how are you? And, the dog is like snuggling. And she's like, oh, he's just like a friendly, that's what he does. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So my food was ready. And I went and got my food. And on my way out, I said, you know what, miss? I said, I was having a really bad night. I was just aggy. But then the dog just like actually put me in a good mood. And she was like, for real? I said, yeah. Like, he just, I don't know, maybe he sensed like I was going through things or whatever. And but him just nuzzling on my leg, and jumping on his two hind legs and like kind of hugging my leg. I said it really put me in a good mood. And she goes, oh well, that's what he does. Like he's such a friendly dog and stuff like that. So I know this like kind of off topic, but what I meant was that you never know what somebody's going through, and then somebody's listening right now and hearing what you've been through and what you overcome. You can change somebody's perspective on life because maybe they feel like they can't do it because they have a roadblock. So you never know.
Right. I want to tell you this story real quick. And I was about 2 years old, and I don't remember it, but my mom told me about it. And it's funny because my mom and dad they joke, they say, yeah, we knew you were going to marry a black woman before you did.
Yeah, you
Parents know
told me
their
that.
children, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, my mom said, I said, well, when did you realize that? She said, well, when you were 2 years old, we were at the doctor's office, right? And we're sitting in there. You're about 2 years old. And, you weren't real friendly. You were kind of, I guess I was kind of hyper and, but, I wasn't really friendly with strangers, I guess. And I guess that's a good thing as a child. But she said that there was this black woman in the doctor's office, and I was walking, and she like waved at me, I guess, and she said that I ran over to her, sat by her, and started hugging her. And my mom got up and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." And I guess the lady said, "Wow, he's really friendly." And my mom's like, "No, he isn't. He just likes you."
Oh,
But
I remember
that
you
was,
telling that story. Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know, and maybe I think children can sense love. I think children they know, and maybe there's just black women in my life. I just in a way had that mother son connection. Uh, I mean, I love my mother and stuff, but maybe somehow there was like a bonding that I embraced when I was young. That I just seen black women as amazing. That and like a child, if you play with that child and you're nice to them, kind to them, that you'll develop a bond and they'll love you forever. And I think that's what happened. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that story. But
Thanks
and
for sharing.
oh yeah, but anyway, I thank you for coming up here. I always like
Thank you
talking to
for
you.
having me. I appreciate it. And hi, everyone in the chat. How are you? Okay. Well, you
Yeah.
have a great night.
You too, Shelly. Thanks for coming up. You're welcome here anytime.
All right. Bye. Mwah.
Bye. Have a good night. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this. We've been up for 2 hours and 35 minutes. That's actually an early show because I talk so much hot air. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope I hope I can have a good influence on people. I hope that I can be a blessing. Um, you know, and my thing is I love YouTube. I love doing this. And YouTube can be stressful at times. It can be a headache. It can be stressful. It can make you angry, sad, happy, and you know, being a content creator, I've done it for 5 years, and there's been ups and downs, and you'll hit every emotion, but it's a blessing. And what makes it worth it is, connecting with you guys, and you guys, showing me and my wife Sandy love. That means a lot to both me and my wife, and we're both grateful for that. Um, and I just want people to love each other. Don't be afraid to open up your options. Don't let people dictate your life. It's your life, and you love who you love and go where you're loved and celebrated, okay? Because this is your life. And you know, in a perfect world, we'd be able to go anywhere with whoever we want with nobody caring. And people would just be happy that we found somebody that we love that loves us back. That's the key. But anyway, let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and say a prayer. I want to make it a point to say a prayer every time I do this. And if you're a Christian like me or another faith, you can pray with me too. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. But for me, it's important for me to say a prayer. I believe there's power in prayer. I believe God, has impacted my life and has blessed me. And, anyway, let me go ahead and pray. Lord, thank you so much for tonight's show, Lord. And please help me to be strong and come up here and talk, Lord, and share my experiences, Lord. Help me to be humble, Lord. And Lord, please help me to be a blessing. And if anybody's struggling, Lord, I hope that I can be a blessing. And though I hate to tell about, the low reading level I had, Lord, I just pray that it'll be a blessing to somebody that's struggling like I did. And I pray that, I can be a blessing, Lord. And I thank you for the blessings you've given me and everybody I've met on YouTube that has blessed me, Lord. I thank you for that. And Lord, I pray that you bless each and everybody here tonight, them and their families, their wives, their husbands, their children, grandchildren. Lord, I just pray you bless us. Bless us here tonight. Lord, please bless our nation. Lord, please put your hand on our nation, on our leaders, on both sides of the aisle, Lord. Please give them wisdom to do the right thing and to put our nation first, Lord. And I just pray you bless each and everybody here tonight. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of tonight's show. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. I drifted a bit from the topic, but that's what I do. I'm like a Tokyo Adrift, that movie. I'm drifting, but that's okay. I think we had a good discussion. I'm thankful Shelly came up. I always love talking to her. She has good insight, and it's a blessing having, talking to her and everybody I've talked to through the years. I mean, it's been awesome and amazing. And Alexander, good to see you, brother. Okay. Sweet Rose 19, Melanated 483. Paula Williams, Chris, good to see you. KP, good to see you. Pamela Williams, good to see you. Dust divested over 4782. Good to see you, young lady. Let's see. Karen Combe. I don't think I've seen a new person, I think. Cece, good to see you. April May, good to see you, young lady. Buy the book. Okay, I hope I got everybody. All right. But I'm grateful for each and everybody that came up here tonight. And if I missed you, I apologize. You know, I just hope I could keep doing this for a while. I hope that I know God has a plan for me, and YouTube might last several more years or might not. I don't know. Okay, but if it's up to me, I'll keep doing this. Okay. I love doing this. I don't, you know, and it's a blessing to me and my wife, and I hope it's a blessing to you guys. But you have a good weekend, okay? Enjoy your family and friends. You know, the weather's getting warm. Okay, well, maybe some people live up north where it's still cold. I don't know. But, you know, we're getting the warmer weather. We're almost in April. If it's warm where you're out, get out and do something, you know. Hiking, fishing, barbecue in the backyard, you know, just have a good weekend, whatever you do. I love you guys. You're a blessing to me. My show lasts as long as you allow me to do this. Okay? Once you stop watching, it ends. And I pray that never happens, but if it does, I'm grateful and blessed for the time I've had. And I'll embrace it either way. But I want to keep going. I'm loving this too much. I love you guys. You guys are a blessing to me. Okay? And I'm thankful for each and every one of you that watches this show. That gives me a like. I won't ask anybody for nothing except a like. Can I have a like? They're free and easy. And if there's a hater out here watching me, give me a dislike too, okay? But hit that button. All right. I hope you guys have a good night. God bless you and your families. I'll see you again. I might drop a video or two in between. But I will see you next Saturday. Okay? And have a good night. God bless. Okay? Don't be afraid to open up your options. Okay? And don't be afraid to take that swirl to investment. But be blessed. Have a good weekend. See you guys soon. See you next Saturday. God bless.